A whole month since we were last on track, it is finally time to get the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine back underway. Welcome everyone to a very warm Hungary as we get set to go for the third round of the season. There you can see air temperatures already up to 19 degrees, leaving us track temperature at 30 degrees, but it is so great to be back. We already have the cars out on circuit. We've had 2 days of testing here at the Hungaroring, but now it's time to get down to business as we go out for qualifying to set the grid for the first race. My name's Chris McCarthy. It is a real pleasure to be back once again. It's been a long time for myself, so really good to be back with you all, you regular viewers. Welcome back to the championship. I'm sure you've missed it just as much as I have. And to those new viewers, welcome to the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. This is where the next championship contenders in Formula 3 and Formula 2 are going to get up to speed before they go racing in the F1 paddocks. Well, we've had a couple of changes to bring you up to speed with in terms of the grid, so let's get that out of the way while the drivers are on their warm-up laps here at the Hungaroring. No Shannon Lugassi, sadly. We didn't see him at Barcelona. He is not here, unfortunately, this weekend, but as one driver seemingly away from the paddock, a new one enters, or returns, shall I say, Esteban Masson, who raced with us last year for FA Racing and then the ART Grand Prix team after we left the Hungaroring. He is back. It's good to see the Frenchman back. He's racing with the Santalok team in the number 19. He will not be in this qualifying session. He will be in the next one. And what a place for him to return as well. He took his best result of the season here at the Hungaroring. So the drivers are out there on circuit, Group A drivers. Let's remind you or bring you up to speed with how the qualifying system works in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. The drivers have been split into 2 groups before the weekend. This goes off championship standings. The drivers first, third, fifth and so on in the championship are in Group A, which is currently on track, and then second, fourth and sixth, so on, go into Group B. For qualifying practice 1, which is today, Group A will go out on track first, Group B will go out straight after. That will be reversed tomorrow. Tomorrow it will be Group B that go out first and Group A second. The quickest group will form the inside row of the grid. The slower group will form the outside row of the grid. They're both going to get 15 minutes on track, and that is how the qualifying system works. As you can see, the cars just getting up to speed. It takes a couple of laps to get these cars and tyres up to temperature before we start seeing the real flying laps. So they're essentially, to break it down for you, setting wherever they finish in this qualifying session is what row of the grid they will start on. Now, they were out on Thursday. They were also out yesterday. The quickest drivers yesterday was Santiago Ramos in the first session, who did a 139.174. And in the second session, it was Victor Bernier, a 139.667. 2 drivers who we haven't seen win or on pole position. So it was interesting to see those 2 going well. Our championship leader, Tim Tramnitz, struggling a little bit. And with that, let's go through the championship as it stands. 9 points between the top 4 drivers in the championship. Tim Tramnitz, then Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Tim Tramnitz becoming the 3rd driver in FRECA history to take 2 wins on a single weekend last time out. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, we haven't seen him on the top spot yet, but we have seen him on pole position. Kaz Havercourt, who won here last year, along with Hadrian David, and won from pole position. Both winners coming from pole here last year, proving how important qualifying is at the Hungaroring. Then comes our rookie leader and 4th in the championship, Martinius Stenchon, on 49 points. 9 points between him and Tim Tramnitz, 4 points between the top 2. It is very, very close. And in this Group A session, as you can see to the left of your screen, the names coming up for you, I'll whiz through them, as next time round it looks like we're going to go for some flies. Tim Tramnitz, Kaz Havercourt, Lorenzo Flusha, Josh Dufek, Santiago Ramos, Semi Megatunif, Matthias Zagazeta, Delano Van Hoff, Marcus Armand, Lawrence Van Hoopen, Levi Revesh. It's his home race, the Hungarians out there as well. Levente Revesh will be in the number 11 car. Maya Verg, Enzo Scionti, Emo Fittipaldi Jr., Lucas Medina, Giovanni Maschio, and Tom Leben. So that is the drivers you are currently watching. The rest will go out in Group B as they make their way around the final corner and on to the start-finish straight. We've not seen any real flying laps in so far, but it looks like that's about to change now as we see Marcus Armand coming down the start-finish straight, the ART Grand Prix driver. ART having a difficult start to the season. They won the title 2 years ago with Gregoire Saucy, who absolutely blitzed it, but just struggling a little bit so far this year. Is this the weekend that all changes? They've had since the last round to work on. And speaking to Charlie Verts yesterday, it sounds like they were working on quite a few things. So let's see if they can get back to where they belong, which is at the front of the field as Marcus Armand wakes his way uphill. This one of their favourite corners into the left-hander there up at... Speaking to Sami Megatunov as well, he said the track's going to be quite green this morning. It did rain after our second practice session yesterday as the TCR cars were going out, so washed away all the access rubber that was out on the circuit, and we are the first cars out on the circuit this morning as well. So we're expecting a green circuit. We can see Marcus Armand fighting with the car, and that should be expected given the track conditions out there. And I think Group B will be happy to be going out second in this one and letting Group A go and put some rubber down for them. There we see Lorenzo Flusha now on screen. He is going to set a benchmark time. It seems he was the first to come round. He's going to be the first to put a time on the board for us. Lorenzo Flusha having a good season so far, 2 fourth places. Can he get himself onto the front row and onto the podium? Well, he's put a benchmark time down for us, a 1:42.213. Quickest times yesterday were 1:39s, but track conditions were a lot better yesterday than they are this morning. Marcus Armand comes across the line, 1:42.513. Waiting for the likes of Dufek, who's doing really well. He's done a purple first sector, meaning he is the quickest car through that section of the circuit. Kaz Havakor, who was pole here last year, he's just jumped up to 5th place as Sami Megatunov goes to provisional pole position. 1:41.869 for him. And Tom Leben, the rookie, the British driver, going to 3rd place, is changing all the times. Enzo Scionti now goes to 2nd place. So it's Megatunov, Scionti, Fittipaldi Jr., the leading rookie so far. Then Flusha, then Leben, Medina, Maschio, Armand, Vantoff, Maya Verg in P10, one of many drivers racing here for the first time. Absolutely loves the circuit, as they all do. Let's watch Josh Dufek though, because he is absolutely flying. He comes across the line and he goes to P1, 1:40.319 for Josh Dufek. The driver sitting 7th in the championship so far. We haven't seen him on the podium so far this season yet, but he's been in the points 3 times, and he had a great run here last year with a 6th and 5th place finish. So he is very, very excited for this round and keen to really put some big points on the board as well, as we see one of the RPM cars just pulling over to the right of circuit. They were quickest yesterday, set the quickest time overall with Santiago Ramos. He is P2 so far. Megatunov P3, Scionti next. Then Emo Fittipaldi Jr., one of the Santilock drivers. The return of Esteban Masson will definitely be helping that French team out, new to the championship this season. Masson will know a lot of the crew from that team as well, having raced with FA Racing, and a lot of the FA Racing crew sticking with Santilock for this championship. So we're good to see him back. Marcus Armand goes to P4. Van Hoopen in P6 as we see more changes. Tim Tramnitz is now in 2nd place. You're watching Josh Dufek on your screen, who currently leads the way. Championship leader Tim Tramnitz has just gone up to P2, 2 tenths behind, 1:40.5. The time to beat is at 1:40.3 by this man here on screen. Then it's Havakor, then it's Flusha, Ramos, Revesh. Verg is in P7. She's doing a great job. She's lead rookie so far. Armand, Fittipaldi and Megatunov. Here we see Dufek. You can see just how hard the tyres are having to work through that long right-hander, the last corner. Now down the start-finish straight. Is he about to beat his own time? No, doesn't look like he does. 1:40.5. Less than 5 minutes to go now, as the drivers take on this 4.3 kilometre circuit. They all really love it in qualifying. They said when the tyres are on their absolute peak, it is a really fantastic to drive. Favourite corners seem to be turn 4, and then this section of the circuit here. A lot of the drivers, particularly the last corner through the section, turn 11. So we're coming up to turn 10 into this left-hander now. They say this next one, the right-hander that leads us onto, I guess what we can call a back straight, is one they all really enjoy, and you've got to be careful of track limits. There's Andrea Kimi Antonelli getting ready to go out. The Mercedes Junior gets himself ready to go out, second in the championship so far, so he the lead driver in Group B. Martinius Stenchorn will be hoping to challenge him. Likewise, his teammate, a Ferrari Junior, Rafael Camara. Do we have anyone else going quicker out there in this session, though? Because this one isn't finished yet. Santiago Ramos is. He's in P5 so far. You can see a bit of a cool-down lap, it seems, from the drivers as they now get ready to go for a couple more flying laps before the checkered flag goes, which will be in exactly 3.5 minutes. Enzo Scionti is improving. Delano Vanthoff is improving as well. Definitely one to keep an eye on. Didn't manage to improve, in fact he did, he went up to P13, apologies, so Delano Vanthoff has improved. We've seen Maya Verg P7, Marcus Hamann P8, Levi Revesh is up to P6 as well, doing a great job, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of support in for him this weekend as there was last weekend. But we watch Tim Tramnitz now making his way downhill up towards turn number 4. Is he going to be able to improve? He only needs to find 0.2 of a second to take pole position away from Josh Dufek, and he's doing just that, it seems. 200ths between him and Dufek as he comes through the first sector. However, Lorenzo Flusha is also improving out there, as is Kaz Havercourt as well. Lorenzo Flusha is going to be coming across the line very, very shortly. Needs to find 0.8 of a second, though. Levente Revesh is improving. Marcus Armand is improving as well, as is Megatunif, Van Hoopen, Vanthoff. Pretty much every driver out there on a personal best. Kaz Havercourt has set the fastest first and second sector now. Is he going to be able to take pole position once again? It's going to be very close between him and Tim Tramnitz. There goes Flusha across the line, P4, but he's still got 2 more attempts to try and take pole position. Next across the line, Armand, he's now P6, but here we watch on screen Van Hoopen up to the line. Can he improve as well? No, but Kaz Havercourt goes to P2. What about Tim Tramnitz? He's not going to be far behind that. He's coming up to the line right now, and he goes to the top. Our championship leader to provisional pole position, 140.131. But Josh Dufek is improving on this lap. Teammate to Kaz Havercourt, who we just saw on screen. There's Tim Tramnitz in the RACE GP car, quickest by just shy of 0.2 of a second. But will it stay there? Because Dufek is improving on this lap. He's in the final sector of the circuit. I'm just looking out the window to see if I can see him, and I think he's coming through the final corner now. There we go. We pick him up on screen. Is he going to be suffering from a little bit of understeer behind Maschio? Perhaps, but he's coming up to the line. He may benefit from a tow, and he goes to the top. Josh Dufek now to provisional pole position. Would be his very first pole position. If he could take it, he would become the 16th different driver in FRECA history to take pole. Josh Dufek, great time, but qualifying is not over yet, and we still have another group to go, remember. 140.083. Tim Tramnitz in second, but he's not improving on this lap. 2 seconds slower through the first sector, so we won't see an improvement from him, nor from Kaz Havercourt. Santiago Ramos, we're waiting to see him through the first sector to see if he can improve. The only drivers improving out there are Verg, Scionti, Lebon, Medina, and Maschio, who are currently the bottom 5 drivers in the standings, but that could change as they come across the line. What a time that was from Josh Dufek, though. We have seen him on the front row of the grid before. That was at Mugello at the season finale last year as he was fighting for the rookie title. So it wouldn't be a first time on the front row, but it would be a first time if he could take pole position. However, Santiago Ramos has just set the fastest first sector. Maya Verg, P12, Tom Leben, P14. Improvements from them both. What about Ramos though? Here he comes, down the back straight, in towards turn 12, hard braking into 12, downhill, so very easy to get that one wrong. Now we just have the two hairpins, long corners they are, and Santiago Ramos is improving through the second sector as well. Lorenzo Flusha also improving. This qualifying session far from done, even though the checkered flag may be waving. Through the final corner now, that looked neat and tidy from Santiago Ramos. Good run onto the start-finish straight. Will this be enough to put the Mexican to provisional pole? It is. Santiago Ramos goes to the top, 139.977. Absolutely superb job from Ramos, a driver who didn't even take any points last season. This season has shown a big improvement with the RPM team, and is he about to take his first ever pole position in FRECA? We still need to see Kaz Havercourt across the line. We still need to see Flusha across the line, and we still need to see Megatunif across the line. Aman likewise. All four of those drivers improving through the first two sectors. Here we go. Up to the line comes Flusha. P4 for him. There's Levi Ravesh in the red and white Arden going down screen. There's Maya Berg now on screen. Marcus Armand across the line. It's going to be P7 in this group for him. So a 7th row start. Changes though going on. Kaz Havercourt now goes P2. Fantastic time from Havercourt. 18 thousandths between him and Santiago Ramos. Dufek will be 3rd. Tramnitz will be 4th, then Flusha in 5th, Megatunif 6th, Mateus Zagazeta, we hadn't even heard from him all session, he came up to P7, right at the end there to put himself on the 7th row of the grid. Van Hoopen 8th, Armand 9th, Van Toff 10th, Levente Ravesh 11th, then it was Verg, Fittipaldi, Lebon, Chianti, Medina, Maschio. What a time that was from Santiago Ramos. His best qualifying so far in his FRECA career, P4, that has now changed. He's going to be at least on the front row of the grid, could be pole position overall. The time to beat a 139.977, and I say that slowly as I write it down, just so we have a note of it for the next session. So Santiago Ramos it is then provisionally on pole position, 2nd for him at worst. I think he'll take that. Kaz Havercourt, P2. Not quite the pole position he had last year, but he was only 18 thousandths away from getting there. And Kaz Havercourt will start from the 2nd row of the grid. Josh Dufek will be very happy with the 3rd row. He was only 1/10 away from Ramos. 1.5 tenths back was our championship leader, Tim Tramnitz. Does this open the door now for the likes of Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who we saw getting ready? He 2nd in the championship, only 4 points back from Tramnitz. Havercourt is only 8 points and will be 2 rows ahead of Tramnitz. We're still waiting to see Martinius Stenchorn out as well. He's only 9 points from Tramnitz, and he goes out next. Flusha in the top 10 once again. Megatunif just outside it. Zagazeta will be row 7. Row 8 will be Lawrence Van Hoopen. Row 9, Marcus Armand. Row 10, Delano Vantoff. Levente Ravesh will be just outside the top 20. Maya Verg will be on row 12. Emerson Fittipaldi Jr. will be on row 13. Tom Lebon will be on row 14. Enzo Chianti, row 15. Lucas Medina, row 16. And Giovanni Maschio will be row 17. Half the grid has been filled. The other half still needs to be filled, and that's going to happen as the Group B drivers take to the track. But the RPM team absolutely over the moon with that one. They showed some good qualifying and race pace towards the end of last season. And Santiago Ramos, who's been a bit unfortunate so far this season, he's qualified well, but has not quite had the luck, particularly at the first round. 23rd in the first race of the season, which didn't reflect on his qualifying performances at all. He qualified 4th for that first race, 14th then for the second race at Imola, 5th and 4th at Barcelona. So he's always been there or thereabouts. And so far this season, we've seen him take a 6th place finish at Imola race 2 and a 4th place finish in race 2 at Barcelona, which is his best ever result in FRECA, actually. But it looks like maybe we could see him on the podium for the first time. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves just yet, but certainly for the first time, he will be on the front row. 15 drivers have taken pole positions in FRECA history when we started this championship at the start of 2021 so far. Are we about to see another? Well, as I said, 17 more drivers are now about to take to the circuit. 15 minutes on the clock has begun to count down. Let's go through who is going to be in this one as we catch our breath back from what was an absolutely fantastic first session. So, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, second in the championship. He'll be out there for Prema Racing in the number 12. Martínez Stenchon, as we saw Esteban Masson towards the back. Martínez Stenchon for RSGP, comfortably our lead rookie in the standings. He'll be in the 34. Rafael Camara, the Ferrari Academy driver, will be in number 8. There's Owen Tangavello in the 43 for Trident. Nikhil Bora, he's 8th in the championship. 47 for him. One of the other Trident drivers has been one of the surprise packages for me, actually, given his lack of experience at this level. He did go and do the Formula Regional Middle East Championship earlier this year. But Nikhil Bora currently outperforming his Trident teammates who carry more experience in this championship and has been in the points every single race. So it's been really impressive to see. Matteo Cappietto will take a lot of confidence from seeing his RPM teammate just go and put the fastest lap down. So let's see what Matteo Cappietto can do. Victor Bernier, quickest yesterday in the second collective test. One to watch in the all-orange MP car. We saw one of them just go by. Victor Bernier will be in the number 26. Alessandro Giusti was very quick yesterday as well. We'll keep an eye on the number 3 car out there as well. Alessandro Giusti for G4 Racing. Roman Belinsky, we saw a brief shot of him in the red, white, and blue Trident number 4. Michael Belov will be out there for G4 in the number 30. Charlie Wirtz, the gold livery, a beautiful looking car. He's out there for ART in the number 9. We saw Owen Tangavello in the number 43. That's the 75 of Adam Fitzgerald. Just, I think, giving himself some space, maybe late out of the pits. Josh Dirksen will be in the number 10. Alex Partashev, who had a crash in the second practice session yesterday, so a bit down on laps in comparison to the others. He's in the number 23. Kirill Smau is in the number 21. Really great to see Kirill here with the Monolith team. He was remember him back from karting. He was an absolutely superb driver, and Kirill has taken that form into single-seater racing. A shame we couldn't quite see him at the first round, but he's quickly making up for lost time, that's for sure. And Kirill Smau will only grow in confidence as the season goes on. Raced in Spanish F4 last year, finishing in 4th place. And last weekend, he raced in the Road to Le Mans and finished in 3rd place with his team, CD Sports, and stood on the podium with Valentino Rossi. That's a story that he will carry forever with him, I'm sure. So, Kirill, what an experience that was, being there and seeing the podium celebrations as well. It was quite an atmosphere, and Kirill Smau involved in what was a race that will be watched back on for years and years to come, I'm sure. And he did himself very, very proud. Niels Coulin will be in the 68. We saw Adam Fitzgerald. And then, as I said, Esteban Masson in the 19. There he is, through screen now, in the blue and white Santilot car. His best ever result in FRECA. Came here, he's back here. Let's see what he can do. Might need a round to just find his feet again. He has been busy. He's been racing in Euro Cup 3 and leads the way in that. So a driver that will no doubt be carrying confidence as he returns to the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, back where he belongs, in my opinion. And so great to have him here. There's Kimi Antonelli in the red and white Prema. They are just going through the warm-up routine before we're going to see them set the times. You can see them just trying to bring the tyres up to temperature. The thing that was on my mind, on the driver's mind, and I'm sure you viewers' mind as well, particularly you regular viewers, what's the track going to be doing now? Because we had rain late yesterday that essentially washed away all the rubber that was on the circuit. It's going to be a green track, and I spoke to Sami Megatunov about this at breakfast. He said he really enjoys these conditions when it's green. So I think that was proven in the first session for him as well, going very well. He's going to be in and around the top 10 now. There's Victor Bernier's teammate, and he said their car actually set up pretty nicely for those conditions. But we've just had Group A go out and put some rubber down. Track temperature is rising all the time. Will Group B now benefit from that, I wonder? We will see. 139.977, the time to beat. To remind you of the qualifying format, essentially this is the position in this qualifying session will determine what row of the grid the drivers start on. The quickest group will form the inside row of the grid. Race 1 later on, which will be at 1:20 local time here in Hungary. The slower group will form the outside row of the grid. So if whoever is quickest in this session beats Santiago Ramos's time of 139.977, they will be on pole position. Drivers just starting to give themselves some space, and a few of the drivers yesterday said traffic could be a problem, and it's around this area that we will really see the drivers beginning to slow down, as I think Victor Bernier is proving there. Got into a little bit of a head-to-head with a couple of the other drivers there, just making sure that he had track space. It was Josh Dirksen that ran wide there, as Victor Bernier said, "You are not coming past me." Right, let's follow Andrea Kimi Antonelli. He's on his first flying lap now. Takes us down to turn 2, that turn 1, downhill braking zone into there. I think we're going to see most overtaking. We could see some through here as well. Out of turn 2 we go now, flat out through 3, downhill right-hander. Really fantastic section of the circuit. This is a favourite corner for many of the drivers now. Uphill, blind entry into turn 4. Got to be very brave through there, particularly when the tyres are at their peak, and it's quickly get over to the left-hand side of the circuit. Open up this right-hander of turn 5. Be careful of track limits on the exit. And now we slow down for the chicane. You'll see the drivers using the curbs there just to take them round that chicane as quickly as possible. Straighten up the wheel for a single second or so, and then it's through the left-hander at 8. Get over to the right-hand side of the circuit. You make one mistake through this section and the whole sector is disrupted. Now get over to the left through 10 to open up turn 11. Fantastic driving there from Kimi Antonelli as we once again descend downhill into turn number 12. Hard on the brakes into there. That looked neat and tidy from Antonelli. He gets back over to the right to take the optimum line now through 13. You can just about take that curb on the inside as well, and then it's open up the last corner, long right-hander, stay with it, there we go, we're out now and down the start-finish straight. What's the time going to be from Andrea Kimi Antonelli? It's a 1:41.044. The quickest times in the last session though came in those final 2 laps. Rafael Camara currently second, Stenchorn goes to the top. Martinius Stenchorn with a 1:40.598, but is Owen Tangavellu on our screens here about to beat it? 2 of the Trident drivers up to the line now. Nikhil Bora goes to P6 and Owen Tangavellu goes to P2. Absolutely superb from the young Frenchman there. Owen Tangavellu into second place. So it's Stenchorn then who leads the way, but is this going to change? Because Roman Belinsky has just come across the line. The Polish driver goes to P3. He was on the podium here last year. Matteo Capietto now to the top. Here's Nils Kuhlen on the screen. Matteo Capietto for the RPM team going to the top. Are we going to see an all RPM front row? Long way to go, but I'm sure that's what Keith Donegan and the guys will be hoping for. It could be a nervous watch for them now. Matteo Capietto to the top, but we are still not seeing the representative times, I don't think, just yet. That's a very good time, though. That's only, I'd say, 1/10 away from the best time we saw in the first session. So to recap, it's Capietto, Stenchorn, then Tangavellu, Belinsky, Kiddle-Smau, then Esteban Mas on P6. Kimi Antonelli is next as we see more changes. Michael Belov goes to 3rd. I would give you the top 10, but I think it's all about to change. We're watching Rafael Camara. He's outside the top 10, but he's going to moving it shortly, and he goes all the way to P2. Great stuff from him, and in the background, here comes Kimi Antonelli. He goes to second place now. 140.128. There's less than half a tenth between the top three. Stenchorn, Cappietto and Antonelli in that order. Then we have Kamara just outside it, so more changes. Stenchorn improving last time, and it's a 139.922. That is it then. This is officially the battle for overall pole position. Martinius Stenchorn has beaten the time of Santiago Ramos with just over 5 minutes to spare. There he is on screen, the RHGP driver. You really wouldn't think he's a rookie at all, would you? But he is comfortably in the lead of the rookie standings. He's got over 40 points on any other rookie. He's doing a superb job, and it wouldn't be his first time on pole position either. He did it in the first race of the season at Imola. So Martinius Stenchorn at the top as we fight for pole now to the end. Cappietto, Antonelli, Kamara, Bielinski, Small, Belov, then Tangavelu, Bernier, Dirksen. Who's going to improve next? It looks like to me Michael Belov is going to be the next to put in a substantial improvement. He's currently in 7th place. I'm just looking out now to see where he is. His teammate Alessandro Giusti also on a really good lap as well. Now here we go across the line. There comes Giusti, but it didn't look like he improved. Next we see Fitzgerald, not an improvement from him. Belov did improve though, he's gone to P5. So 140.360 for Michael Belov leaves him just shy of 0.4 of a second away. And we take a deep breath, as do the drivers, as do the teams, as all the drivers now begin a bit of a cool-down lap before we go for one more flyer. Cappietto has already been through that process because he's just set the fastest first sector, 36.420. And Matteo Cappietto, is he about to take his first ever pole position? Oh no, he's slowing up. So, well, he must have had a problem somewhere, spotted some traffic, maybe has run wide, but Matteo Cappietto, he was almost 0.2 up through the first sector alone, but has slowed up. So I imagine he maybe had an off through somewhere like turn 4 or coming out of 5, and he's had to abort the lap and go again. Let's keep an eye on the screens because this could change very, very quickly as drivers are beginning now this next flying lap. A lot of them have crossed the line already. Belov, Bielinski and Small all improved on their last laps as they set off for another one. And Andrea Kimi Antonelli is improving, 36.591. Personal best first sector for him, not the quickest we've seen in the session so far. That lies with this man here, Matteo Cappietto. But Andrea Kimi Antonelli going very, very quickly out there. This Group B qualifying, if you're just joining us, the 17 drivers in Group A have already gone out. Half the grid has been set. The remaining 34 drivers now have to go and set their times. And this is officially the battle for pole position. This is the quicker group. Whoever's quickest in this group will start on pole. And we're seeing improvements from Stenchorn, from Antonelli, from Kamara. It could change again at the top as here we watch Antonelli making his way through the final corner now. Just having to wrestle with the car there as Kamara comes across the line. No improvement from him. Next will be Antonelli. Does he improve? Yes, he goes to 2nd place, 140.007. Wirtz is next across the line. He's in P12. Stenchorn comes across the line, does not improve. So there's just under 1/10 of a second between Stenchorn and Antonelli. Bernier has now gone up to P5. He improved last time as well. Less than 2 minutes to go. I think some drivers cooling down for one big flying lap at the end. They're going to have to get a bit of a move on if they want to do that, though. But let's pick up Matteo Cappietto. Look at that first sector. He may not have been quicker through the second, but that first sector alone could be enough to put him to the top. He's got to get through these last 2 corners safely first, and he's locked up into the penultimate corner there, ran wide, and that could see Matteo Cappietto's chances of being on the front row taken away. He makes his way out of the final corner. Bielinski is now ahead of him in P3. Here comes Cappietto, and there we go. That mistake has really cost him. Well, what about Belov? Michael Belov going really fast now. He's purple through the first and second sector. Giusti just ahead of him as well, improving. Let's see what the 2G4 racing drivers can do. It's going to be Giusti first and then Michael Belov next. Giusti across the line improves to 12th. Michael Belov, though, is he going to go to pole position? Yes, he does. Michael Belov with a 139.786. goes to pole position. Absolutely superb stuff from Michael Belov, looking to take what would be his third pole position in FRECA history. But the qualifying session is not done yet. Fantastic stuff from the G4 Racing driver. A late call up to the season for him this year. Has taken a couple of rounds, shall we say, just to get back up to speed. But this is the Michael Belov we all know from this championship. As Rafael Camara begins his last flying lap, the checker flag is about to start. A couple of drivers will just make it across the line. Victor Bernier was the first to take the flag, and he did not improve. He was building up for one last flying lap, and along with Owen Tangavelu and Nikhil Bora, unfortunately, their cool-down laps there have been just a little bit too slow. Belinsky across the line as well. P4 at best for him. That would be a solid result for the Polish driver who was on the podium here last year. Alex Partashev, he did have that crash yesterday, down on track time. Only 1.3 back though, as Esteban Masson now goes up to P8. Bit of improvement from him. Capietto up to second place as well. 139.891 for Maceo Capietto to put him on road 2. But we need to see the two Prema drivers. We're watching Rafael Camara. Just behind him is Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Are we going to see late improvements from there? Martini Stenchon is improving as well. Giusti goes across the line. He moves up to P10. Michael Belov across the line does not improve. So it's down to Prema and RSGP to see if they can knock G4 Racing off of pole position. Here comes Rafael Camara up to the last corner now. This has looked like a good lap to me, but the quickest out there is Martini Stenchon, the rookie. Let's watch all three across the line then. Here comes Rafael Camara, round the final corner. Is he going to be able to put himself on pole position for the first time? He goes second. What about Andrea Kimi Antonelli now? Up to the line from him. He goes to pole position. But Martini Stenchon, keep an eye in the background. He is absolutely flying. It could be a second pole position for him. And it is Martini Stenchon to the top there. A second pole position of the season. 139.604. Absolutely superb stuff from RSGP. The last driver to cross the line, and he takes pole position at 139.604. 1.5 tenths clear of the rest of the field. That is absolutely superb stuff from Martini Stenchon in what has been a superb qualifying session. Here's the result then. This is going to be the inside row of the grid. Stenchon on pole for the second time, looking for his third podium of the season. He's been on the podium every single time as a rookie winner. He's been on the top step at the first race of the season. Will we be able to see him do that again? Andrea Kimi Antonelli in second. Michael Belov in third place. Rafael Camara was fourth. Maceo Capietto, once on pole, he was fifth. Roman Belinsky sat in third at one stage. He's now P6. Victor Bernier 7th. Esteban Masson on his return, a solid 8th place. Then Owen Tangavelu 9th. Alessandro Giusti will be on road 10. Then Joshua Dirksen, Kirill Smell, Adam Fitzgerald, Nikhil Bora, Charlie Wirtz, Niels Coulin, Alex Partashev. Just 1.5 seconds between all 17 drivers. What a session. Martini Stenchon will start from pole position. The first race of the weekend will be at 20 minutes past 1 local time. You do not want to miss it. Martini Stenchon will lead us down to the first corner at that time. We'll see you then.